Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte is a classic novel set on the desolate moors of Yorkshire during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. The story is framed through the eyes of Mr. Lockwood, a tenant at Thrushcross Grange, who becomes intrigued by his landlord, the enigmatic Heathcliff. Through Lockwood's narration and the recounting of the housekeeper, Nelly Dean, the novel delves into a complex tale of passionate love, revenge, and the destructive nature of obsession. Upon visiting Wuthering Heights, Lockwood encounters a cold and inhospitable atmosphere, meeting Heathcliff, the young Catherine, and Hareton Earnshaw. A supernatural encounter with the ghost of Catherine Linton compels Lockwood to learn more about the troubled history of the inhabitants. His curiosity leads Nelly Dean to unveil the tumultuous saga that binds the Earnshaw and Linton families. Nelly begins her story years earlier when Mr. Earnshaw, the master of Wuthering Heights, brings home an orphaned boy from Liverpool named Heathcliff. Heathcliff's arrival ignites a deep bond between him and Earnshaw's daughter, Catherine, while provoking jealousy and hatred in Earnshaw's son, Hindley. This love and animosity set the stage for the ensuing drama. Mr. Lockwood, in a candlelit bedroom at Wuthering Heights, startled by the ghostly apparition of Catherine Linton's pale hand reaching through a frosty windowpane. The moonlight casts a spectral glow, enhancing the supernatural encounter. As children, Catherine and Heathcliff share an intense, wild friendship, roaming the moors and defying social conventions. Their relationship embodies the theme of passionate love that defies societal norms. However, Hindley's resentment leads him to mistreat Heathcliff, especially after Mr. Earnshaw's death, reducing Heathcliff to a servant and fueling his desire for revenge. A flashback scene where Mr. Earnshaw introduces a young, dark-haired Heathcliff to his family inside the warm hearth of Wuthering Heights. Young Catherine looks at Heathcliff with curiosity, while Hindley glares with visible jealousy. Catherine's encounter with the refined Linton family at Thrushcross Grange introduces her to a world of social elevation. Torn between her raw love for Heathcliff and her aspirations for social standing, she accepts Edgar Linton's marriage proposal. This decision devastates Heathcliff, highlighting the theme of class conflict and the constraints it imposes on true love. Catherine and Heathcliff as children, running freely across the wild moors under an open sky. Their figures are full of joy and rebellion, with the vast natural landscape symbolizing their untamed spirits. Heathcliff disappears, only to return years later, wealthy and educated, intent on exacting revenge against those who wronged him. His return disrupts the lives of both families, as he acquires Wuthering Heights from Hindley through deceit and manipulates Edgar's sister, Isabella, into a disastrous marriage. Heathcliff's vengeance illustrates the destructive power of obsession and revenge. A tense scene where Hindley, now the master of Wuthering Heights, cruelly forces Heathcliff into servitude. Heathcliff stands with a defiant gaze, his clothes tattered. Catherine's health deteriorates amid the turmoil, leading to her premature death after giving birth to her daughter, also named Catherine, Cathy. Heathcliff's grief and longing for Catherine drive him to desperate measures, including attempts to communicate with her spirit. This supernatural element reinforces the Gothic atmosphere of the novel. Catherine, elegantly dressed, standing in the refined interior of Thrushcross Grange alongside Edgar Linton. She gazes out a window towards the moors, a look of longing on her face, symbolizing her internal conflict between two worlds. Heathcliff's tyranny extends to the next generation, as he seeks to control both Wuthering Heights and Thrushcross Grange. He forces Cathy to marry his sickly son, Linton Heathcliff, ensuring his claim over the Grange after Edgar Linton's death. The cyclical nature of revenge perpetuates suffering, emphasizing the theme of inherited misery. Heathcliff, now a well-dressed and stern-looking man, returns to Wuthering Heights at dusk. His shadow stretches long behind him, symbolizing his ominous intentions, as the manor looms ahead. Despite Heathcliff's manipulations, a tender relationship develops between Cathy and Hareton Earnshaw, Hindley's neglected son. Initially marred by Heathcliff's influence, their bond grows as they find solace in each other. Their budding love represents hope and the potential to break free from the cycle of vengeance. a dramatic confrontation where Heathcliff forcefully embraces Isabella Linton under a darkened sky. Isabella looks torn between fear and fascination, while the barren landscape emphasizes the bleakness of their union. Heathcliff becomes increasingly haunted by visions of Catherine, leading to his physical and mental decline. His death marks the end of his reign of bitterness and allows for the possibility of redemption and healing for the remaining characters. The union of Cathy and Hareton symbolizes the restoration of harmony and the enduring power of love. Catherine lies pale and weakened in a grand bedroom at Thrushcross Grange. Heathcliff stands beside her bed, anguish etched on his face. Through the window, a storm rages, mirroring the turmoil within. Key themes in Wuthering Heights include the destructive nature of obsessive love, as seen in the relationship between Catherine and Heathcliff. The novel explores how intense emotions can transcend reason and societal expectations, often leading to tragedy. Revenge serves as a driving force for Heathcliff, demonstrating how it consumes individuals and impacts those around them. Heathcliff stands alone in a moonlit cemetery beside Catherine's fresh grave. He reaches out toward the headstone, his face shadowed, conveying his grief and obsession. The gnarled trees and overgrown graves enhance the Gothic mood. Social class and its influence on personal relationships are also central to the story. Catherine's choice between Heathcliff and Edgar highlights the conflict between true affection and social ambition. The novel critiques the rigid class structures of the time, showing how they can hinder genuine human connections. Heathcliff menacingly oversees young Cathy and the sickly Linton Heathcliff inside the gloomy walls of Wuthering Heights. The forced marriage is depicted with Cathy looking resistant, while Linton appears frail and indifferent. The setting of the moors plays a significant role, symbolizing the wild, untamed aspects of nature and human emotion. The contrast between Wuthering Heights and Thrushcross Grange reflects the duality of chaos and order, passion and reason. This dichotomy emphasizes the theme of nature versus culture within the narrative. Amidst the oppressive atmosphere of Wuthering Heights, Cathy and Hareton share a quiet moment in the garden. They are surrounded by overgrown plants and dilapidated structures, but light filters through, symbolizing hope. The use of multiple narrators and a nonlinear timeline adds complexity to the storytelling, creating a rich tapestry of perspectives. The Gothic elements, including ghostly apparitions and a bleak, foreboding atmosphere, enhance the novel's exploration of themes like death, the supernatural, and the darker facets of the human psyche. Heathcliff sits alone by a dying fire inside Wuthering Heights, haunted by translucent visions of the late Catherine appearing in the shadows. His hollow eyes and gaunt face show his decline into madness. In conclusion, Wuthering Heights is a profound examination of love, vengeance, and the human condition. Emily Bronte's masterful portrayal of intense emotions and complex characters has cemented the novel's place in literary history. Its exploration of enduring themes continues to resonate with readers, inviting reflection on the consequences of our deepest passions. If you enjoyed learning about this classic, consider subscribing to see future videos on timeless classics. Happy learning!